Welcome everyone to our Fierce Leader interview with Platinum Wellness Advocate Melissa Werner. This truly is the interview we've all been waiting for. No, they've all been good. So what I'm going to do, Melissa's my mom, for anybody who's watching this who doesn't know. So Mom, are you Mom or Melissa right now? I think you're Mom. I'm going to do the questions that I have, and then other people asked other questions too. I don't have it. You were really good about having an order. I don't have an order.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, good. So tell me, how did you first hear about doTERRA?
I mean, how in detail do you want names?
Yeah, absolutely. I want you to name drop everyone.
So I had years and years of jaw pain from clenching my jaw, and I had broken actually some molars from a lot of tension that I had. And one night in the night, I dreamt, or maybe heard, I don't know what happened, but God was like, look for acupuncture. And anyway, a long story short, I found Miranda Wendler, who at that time was an acupuncture practitioner. She has since retired her needles and her license. But I went to see her, and after one of my treatments, she came back into the room after I rested for a while, and she smelled like lemons. And I was like, what? I love lemons. What are you doing? What is that smell? And she said, it's an essential oil that I put on. And I said, well, can I have some too? So she went back out of the room and came back in, and she anointed me. So she anointed my forehead and the backs of my hands and my feet. And after I came out of my appointment, I was like, I want to know more about that essential oil. I didn't know anything about essential oils. I knew nothing, except for when you were a little girl, Amy, and you had a really high fever when we were on a vacation. We were down in Alabama, staying in a house on the beach, and you had a high fever, and I was worried. And one of the nice couples that had hung out with us by the pool and on the beach, they had a dog called Maud Louise. She had offered to put oils on you, and I didn't know what they were. And I was a little bit like, oh, is this voodoo? What is this? And so we agreed that she could put oils on you, and your fever broke, and you were like a whole new little girl. And so that was my only experience before that. And I just didn't understand. So I went to my first class, and Miranda taught it. And Miranda invited me to her first class. It was my first class, and she taught at Lakes Chiropractic in Eagle River. And Heidi was there, like assisting, and the place was packed. And that was my introduction to essential oils.
You were like a dream customer. Tell me more. Put that oil on me. Can I come to a class? How do I get these?
Except I was dragging my heels the whole way. I was like, you. So yeah, I went home that night, and I woke my husband up, Bad Bob, up, and said, if I didn't have control, I would have bought every single oil, because the one fact that got me, that Miranda taught out of everything, this was back in the day when we were dropping oils on styrofoam, and I don't even want to go there. I don't know what the point of that ever was. You can drink this, but let's melt styrofoam with it. But she talked about how viruses reside inside of cells and replicate there. And that made sense to me. I loved biology in college. I studied the human body for 4 years. So that was like, oh my goodness, essential oils can penetrate the cell membrane. And so I was so intrigued, and I said to Bob, this is our future, these oils. And I wanted to buy the $2,500 kit, which was a thing back then, and I didn't. And he said, you should buy it. And I said, I'm not going to buy that. This is a cult. So a few weeks later, Miranda, I won a bottle of lemon. And
you think she picked your name?
No, it was not rigged. I won the bottle of
wasn't.
lemon. And it sat on my counter, and I kept staring at it. And so she called me a few weeks later, was like, what do you think about that bottle of lemon? I'm like, well, it looks good on my counter. So she said, put it in your water, silly. And so I started doing that, and people started calling me and asking if they could buy oils. I'm like, I don't even have oils. It was just so weird. And so I met Miranda in the corner table at Blend in Eagle River, and I bought the smallest kit I could. And I told her if she ever contacted me again, I would have my people find her and kill her because I knew it was a cult.
We're brutal.
That was it. That was my intro.
And then you pretty much, I think it's because you're so connected and influential. You were kind of off to the races.
Oh my goodness, people were asking me and, I was people would come in my house and cough, and I'd be like, "Well, I have these things. Can I put them on you?" And,
Yeah, you were.
I'm high in influence, so people were like, "Sure." They probably were thinking, "I don't want it," but they did.
High in influence, super connected, incredibly shameless. I feel like it's a killer recipe.
I did something today and I said, "If my daughter knew I was doing this," yeah, mhm.
I don't even want to know. So you were kind of off to the races. Do you feel like in hindsight that you naturally do all of this very well? Like, do you wish that you had some kind of training, or do you wish that you had never been trained and you could have just existed in the early stages forever?
That's a really good question. I think that, we didn't know what we were doing at the beginning, Miranda, Heidi, and myself. I mean, I would say that if they were here, I mean, we just didn't know, and we had to kind of find our way through the bumps and the lumps. So I think I do wish we had a little bit more training. Um, but when I pull back, I realize that my business grows the most when I just am who I am.
Mhm.
And when I just get away from my desk, I push back and I close my computer and I go out and I meet people, and then the magic happens.
That's true. Um, how long was that? How long were you doing that with being a chaplain at the hospital? And then when were you done at the hospital?
Isn't it funny? Every time we have to give these dates, we're like, oh, I should have these like etched in my brain.
Was it like 6 months?
No, I think that I did oils for about a year, and my job was becoming more and more complex with a buyout. And I loved my job in the emergency room. When I think of what I've learned through Eddie and Strength Finders, and I think about what I was doing in the emergency room, I was made to work in a fast paced emergency room with really hard things happening. It just it's a great place for me to be. It's a place that I love passionately, but it wasn't working anymore, and I was, beginning to develop physical problems, anxiety from it, and, it was Bob that just said, I think so if I enrolled in 13, I think it was, like, 15 that he said, "You need to be done. You
Mhm,
need to be done because this is killing you. What are you waiting for?" He asked me to, quit my job and try the oils as a business for a year, and he said, "If you don't like it, you can go back. You haven't burned any bridges."
mhm.
I never went back to the hospital.
What are some ways that you feel like you've been able to infuse your passions into your doTERRA business?
Well, I get really easily bored when things are the same, and so I I don't enjoy consistency. I don't enjoy, necessarily achieving. I love being, and I love fast moving, fast changing things. So, and also listening skills. I mean, I have to be honest, I do not have an official chaplain degree. I was working in that role with the skill set that I have and the background that I have from college. But I think that the ability to listen and be present that was ingrained in me from the emergency room, and working in those trauma situations when people were dying or their loved ones had just died, has been really helpful to me in my doTERRA business to just be present with people where they are.
Mm. Um, I don't think you're gonna like this question. Maybe you will. What do you want to create with doTERRA?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, because I never have a plan, right? I don't like
Well,
this question.
I think it's a super hard question to answer, so I don't fault you for that.
What do I hope to create? I hope to create a business that works with me as our lives change and we move toward retirement. The big R. I'm not there. We're not there, but I'm starting to reach out to other people who are successful in DoTerra that are my age, who have spouses that are approaching retirement to see what does this look like. Like, we meet with our financial person and he's like, well, so what's it look like to retire from doTERRA? And I told him, it's like the Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave. So I don't know, but
So like
I
you to
think,
reach out to those people, that was really smart.
yeah, well, that's me. I'm a connector. I'm a team. I love teamwork. I'm sure these people are like, why is she? One lady said, I'm sorry, I don't know you. Why did you send me a friend request? Is there something you need? And then when I told her, she was like, I'm sorry, I just got wigged out. I didn't know who you were. um, but I do want this business, the beauty of the business, we say this over and over again, is that it can adapt to who we are and what we need. We can make it work in different stations.
Mhm.
And, it was so great when my mom was dying to be able to be with her. And we have three more parents that are aging, Bob's mom and dad and my dad. And we really want doTERRA to work with us as we're going through this next phase.
Mm.
And I think it can.
To be determined. Of course it can, but like, what does
Yeah.
that look like? What are some things that you feel like this business has done for you on a personal level?
Mm. It's really taken me out of like the counseling mindset, um, and the winging it mindset. I'm a huge fly by the seat of my pants person. I, I I have learned to prepare for
Mm.
things that we do. When I used to just show up, those first CE classes that we did just even a little over a year ago, I was just like getting on and just like winging it. And then I'm realizing, oh, I probably should prepare a little. Um, so I've learned to prepare myself and make lists and do things that I've never really done before.
You're welcome. Like, what do you mean you're making, what do you mean you're prepared? What do you mean? What do you mean? Mom. Um, okay, one of just a couple of my last questions, then I'll go to what the team sent. Like if you had to pin down like the biggest benefit that you've received from all of this, what is it?
Working with you.
Really? I didn't think you would say that. I thought that would be like at the bottom of the list.
Well, who gets to do that?
Mm,
And it hasn't been easy.
mhm,
It hasn't been. We've almost killed each other multiple times,
mhm.
more than multiple, dozens. I can probably tell you places in the United States where we've almost left each other.
Oh,
But yeah, the biggest thing, because I'm so high in relationship, is getting to work with you.
hmm. Well, that's really sweet. I didn't pay her to say that, guys. I also didn't see that one coming. Um, okay, so some questions that people texted in. What part of your this is from Jerry Huffman. What part of your doTERRA business lights your fire?
Hmm. The relationship piece. I mean, guys, that's like um, just going out and being out with, like sitting down with people and hearing their heart and taking time and like totally derailing my day because I spent too much time listening to somebody. But that is what I love.
What has surprised you the most as you've built your business?
That I can do this.
Hmm.
That I've had to learn like I mean, not really, but you kind of have to know your numbers. I'm still working on that, but like, how much money am I putting in and is it worth it? We laugh that I have a hard time putting my receipts in, and it's because I'm like, someday I'm going to wake up and think I did all this and I didn't make enough money, but I wouldn't change a thing. I do love this.
Susan Wood wants to know if you were on a desert island, which one friend and oil would you take and why? You can't pick your spouse.
Like a business person or like a,
Friend.
hmm,
Do you have friends?
I know. Um, yeah. Do I have friends?
I didn't mean it like that. Of course you have
Yeah.
friends.
No,
Um,
but I mean,
that sounded harsh.
That is well, no, but I mean, I think that as somebody who listens a lot to people, um, I don't really have people that are like, "Hey, let's just go out and break some rules," which is what I really would have the most fun doing. Um, yeah, I'm
Tell
just
Susan
gonna
would
say,
you take Susan.
yeah, Susan. Susan, I would take Susan.
Susan, we take you.
And which oil would I take? Was that the question?
Mhm,
I really can't live without balance.
mhm.
I can't.
Okay, from Laura Hadamio. What has kept you motivated in business all these years?
I haven't always been motivated. Let's be honest. It's ebbed and flowed. Guys, it ebbs and flows like anything else in our lives. And it's like it's when Amy bangs me over the head and she says, "Go and do what you do best and just be
Mhm,
with people."
mm,
That's what keeps me going. And each one of us has those different drivers, each different strengths. But when I'm working in my top five, the magic happens. And that's what keeps me going. It's when I'm grinding along through my bottom five and I think I can't do this one more minute. And Amy wants to fire me because I'm so bad.
Laura Hadamio also wants to know how you manage your time.
What does managing time mean? Laura. I
Oh, we have
don't think I manage my time.
it's systems and lists and time management squash Melissa Werner at the core.
They ruin me.
Uh-huh.
Mm, mhm.
So
I don't know, Laura.
we won't
Amy
talk
could
about
Amy can answer that better than I can.
Lindsay King. What was doTERRA like as a baby in the early stages?
Hmm. Man, we were just in awe of like people that were killing it, right? We were in awe. And the longer that we do this, the more we realize that we're okay. We've got this, and where we are and who we are is just great. So, baby doTERRA, we were like stargazing. We were like, oh my goodness, I got to have my picture taken with Elise Shedemy. And I still follow Elise Shedemy and I still admire her, but I feel like we were starstruck and I don't feel starstruck anymore. I just feel like we've got this. We're good. We are enough. And Team Fierce is something that is world changing. And I'm so excited to be part of it.
What's something that you miss from the early days?
Chasing down Elise Shedemy.
I miss convention with just humor, and this is not my interview.
Convention, those very early days when it was just us and we were trying to find our
Michelle at
way.
the
Oh,
Peary.
Michelle, we got thrown out of the Peary Hotel in
Her and I hiding in the room while you. Okay. What has been the biggest catalyst for business growth?
um that is a really hard question, you guys, because I'm not systematic. I don't like, oh, I have this goal and I'm going to go for it. I did that one time. One time I had a goal. I made a crazy prediction that I would be platinum in the month of November
You did
3
it.
years ago, and I did it. And that was enough. It scared me. I think I was like, holy cow, if I put a name to something and I do it, I can, wow. Um,
I
yeah.
think that I think Strengths Finders and Eddie Via's work has been probably one of the biggest catalysts because you and he, of all the different people we've interacted with, like thinks similarly.
You think so?
Kind of. And I think that he's given you permission. Like, I feel like it's different. I can say to you, like, would you stop sitting behind your freaking computer and go out and, from the angle of it's good to hear that from somebody else sometimes in a
I
different.
think that the call that you and I had with Eddie when he gifted us like 20 minutes and we were on the phone with him for like an hour and 15 minutes, and he kept trying to come at it that we needed to value who each other were, and we were like, we don't have I totally to Amy, I am like, I bow down to your organization and the way you can do things, the way you can take something and put flesh on it, take the bones, put flesh on it and run it is nothing short of miraculous to me. And we couldn't be more different in that respect. And Eddie wanted to talk about empathy being my number two. And I was kind of like, I don't want to talk about flipping empathy. I don't like that word. And I am not empathetic. And Eddie had to break down with me what that really means. And it was a game changer for me when he said he realized what I was struggling with, and he was like, just go out there and be yourself, and great things will happen." And I think he was right.
The temptation for you to not be in your top 5 strengths in the doTERRA world is so strong. The pressure for you to step out of your top 5 is like immense and constant and pressing. And I think that it's like probably takes a lot of conscious effort for you to remain like true to yourself and how it needs to go, you know?
Well, when you look at a lot of the people that we have followed over the years, their strengths are more like yours than mine. There aren't a lot of people up there walking the stage, I don't think, that are like high in relationship and
It's like
um,
reticular formation though, you know what I mean? We like they're there, but I guess yeah, the people maybe we've glommed onto.
yeah, that we've followed that are in the line that were in the limelight when we first started back in the baby doTERRA days. The drive, I often feel like God forgot to give me the drive because I'm just out there wanting to have coffee with people and break rules. And
And,
I don't even drink coffee.
and playing trips. I know, right? Um, why do you feel like what's like a good reason that somebody should start a doTERRA business now?
Oh gosh, I don't think that people have in my lifetime ever been more intrigued by how to stay healthy.
Mhm.
I think that there's been a big like chasm that has opened between the two camps. Like you used to be able to kind of fall, I have to like be careful who I am right now, where I am. I have to be aware of those things, but I feel like that one camp that used to be so solidly not interested in more natural health and wellness has my phone's ringing. People are coming to me and saying, "How can I do this? How can I do that?" And it's really shocking to me. So that it's a great time. It's a great time for us. We've got wonderful tools to understand who we are and how to build a business with the tools of who we are that we didn't have that back in the day. I spent like the first 5 years banging my head trying to memorize outlines and I couldn't do it.
Oh, yeah. Don't diss my emerge, I'll cry.
I mean, Emerge was a really great tool and I use a lot of those lines still.
And
Um,
people who don't have the communication skills that you have really benefit from
mhm.
some of those basic things.
Yeah, some of it just felt so elementary to me and I was like, I was trying to memorize things and you were the one that said, put the freaking notebook away and stop. Just go out and meet with somebody.
This is me. Listen up, everybody. I need you to do this in this way, in this. Hey, Melissa, don't
It's
listen.
very true.
All
Very
right. Anything else that you want to share with the crew? Is there anything we're missing?
No, I just think it's been an incredible journey. I'm really glad that I've been on it. I'm very curious to continue to kind of pave the way in terms of what's next. I love funneling ideas to Amy and watching her make them real and doable. And I love the fact that I'm going to be able to help you all and teach you, learn how to grow old in this business, to do the golden years in this business.
You're not old. You're our
Hold
finest.
on just a second. Stop. Thank you. Okay, sorry.
I'm hearing you. All right. Well, I think you're awesome. Thanks for putting up with my scattered outline of questions, but I thought there were some good extra ones there, so I
It
want to
was
get those.
really fun. Thank you.